It's the summer of 2011. I'm at my friend's house and his older brother's playing a video game I've never seen before. He's fighting zombies and cracking jokes with his friends. Looking at him play this game, it's beyond anything I'd ever seen. It's nothing like the Monster Jam game I had on my 3DS or even Wii Resort. No, this game was Black Ops 1. And that was my introduction to Call of Duty. From then on out, every single year, I would buy the new Call of Duty game, whether it was for my birthday or for Christmas. I needed it. But my excitement started to fade in 2016. But for many others, that kind of excitement started to dwindle around the release of Call of Duty Ghosts. The games were changing, and we along with them. Now, between the releases of Call of Duty 4 and Black Ops 2, the community seemed to be thriving. It didn't matter if you were a sniper, a camper, there was a way for you to have fun in this game. Players seemed to be happy with the developers, and everything seemed to be going well. And microtransactions were in the game, however they were reasonably priced and people were actually excited for map packs. However, a growing hostility towards Call of Duty was growing, and this was more evident in Call of Duty Ghosts. It wasn't a very dramatic pushback, but it was there nonetheless. Some criticisms that the game received include maps like Stonehaven being gigantic and the player count not being adjusted for size. We also saw a growing number of two camps starting to rise. One feeling like COD should innovate because the formula was growing tiresome and every game felt the same, and other people feeling like if it's not broke, don't fix it. And honestly, the debate still continues to this day. With that being said, the next entry after Call of Duty Ghosts was a breath of fresh air for the community. With jetpacks being introduced, changing the movement system overall, many players disliked this change. But overall, the backlash from the game wasn't too great and it was something new. However, Advanced Warfare, in my opinion, did irreversible damage to the franchise, and I'm not talking about gameplay. The release of Advanced Warfare marked the beginning of Activision becoming more predatory in their business practices, a trend that continues to this very day. For Advanced Warfare, it was supply drops, which encouraged players to gamble and spend money into the game in order to find better weapon variants, essentially making the game pay to win. Supply drops continue to be in the series with the release of Black Ops 3. Now, gameplay-wise, Black Ops 3 was a lot of fun, and I know that a lot of the Zombies community feels that they had a great time with it, amazing maps, and the campaign was a little lackluster, but the other modes seemed to be great. However, supply drops in the game were egregious, to say the least. New guns were added to the game, however, they were locked behind supply drops. Now, I believe there might have been a way to earn weapon supply drops specifically, but still, locking new content behind gambling is ridiculous. But the community was hit hard with this next entry. Infinite Warfare was doomed from the start. The trailer became one of the most disliked videos on YouTube, and what made it even worse was Activision deciding that you could only play Modern Warfare Remastered if you bought the Advanced Warfare Special Edition. Now, eventually they made Modern Warfare Remastered a separate entity from Infinite Warfare, but that was much later. Honestly, I didn't play much Infinite Warfare, but from what I can gather, it was okay. I did play a little MWR, and overall it's a decent game, but it was held back by Activision's need to make money. They introduced loot boxes and released maps for money in a game that originally released in 2007. Moving on, we see the release of World War II, and it was pretty average and honestly a little lackluster. Monetization-wise, it was more or less the same as Infinite Warfare. Gameplay-wise, it was a nice return to pace for a World War II Call of Duty, however, it wasn't the best and wasn't even as good as World at War. But now I want to move on and talk about Black Ops 4, which made a couple interesting changes. Gameplay-wise, it added a healing system with stims and a higher TTK in order to make the game more competitive, to compete with games along like Siege, for example. They also didn't include a campaign and rather implemented a battle royale. The battle royale was okay and it was actually pretty cool, but it was locked behind a $60 paywall, so it didn't reach its full potential. Black Ops 4 also introduced a system which is not my favorite, a battle pass in a $60 game. Now, by the end of Black Ops 4, people were essentially hate playing the game. They'd say it's trash or they'd say it's the worst in the series, but they'd still play it. But 2019 brought Modern Warfare 2019, a reboot, and it was a new era for Call of Duty. On the surface, it seemed like a return to form for the franchise, and fans were super excited. We were getting a reboot with a new engine, what seemed to be like a lot of attention to detail and free post-launch content. I mean, sign me up. And a little while after its release, the game was doing great. However, Activision did a sneaky move and added the store tab a few weeks after release in order to get a sort of shield from negative reviews so people wouldn't know. We also saw the release of Warzone, and with that, a Battle Pass, and you guys already know how I feel about Battle Passes. Now from here all the way to the current Modern Warfare 2 2022, things remain relatively same. Cold War had a rough launch, and to this day, I feel like it was sabotaged by Activision, and Vanguard's just kind of there, I guess. He's kind of like the problem child. But that brings us to today with a Modern Warfare 2 reboot, a game with overpriced store items, and a Battle Pass that has another Battle Pass within it that also costs extra money. Community-wise, it's everywhere. Some love the game, some hate it, as per every usual Call of Duty entry, but I want to focus on monetization rather than gameplay. The reason for this is gameplay is much more subjective, and honestly, every Call of Duty sort of plays the same. I mean, let's be real. You play one, you play all of them, and there's only minor tweaks between the differences. Monetization-wise, it's getting worse and worse. A Battle Pass in a $70 game is unacceptable. Now I'm going to level with you guys. I'm biased. I hate Battle Passes. I hate the idea that they promote this idea that you have to buy your way into earning the privilege to earn items. Which on its own is fine. If you want to buy a Battle Pass and then unlock those items naturally, that seems like a decent idea. The problem arises when the battle passes are timed, and if you don't complete it, you lose all the items forever, and all the money you spent, too bad, so sad, you gotta move on. It just makes it so you have to play the game like it's a 9 to 5, or else you run the risk of just wasting your money. Now, I can understand a battle pass for a game like Fortnite because it's free, and that's the way they make their money. But a full-priced AAA game has no business having one, and it gets worse. Case in point, the Black Cell bundle. Now, you can either spend about $11 to get the normal Battle Pass, or you can drop $30 on the Black Cell Battle Pass, which allows you the privilege to earn additional rewards. I can't wrap my head around why anyone would throw money at this, but here we are. Now, I want to bring up a smaller point that other YouTubers have also discussed in better detail, that the store in this game is overpriced. I mean, $24 for this? Is that really reasonable? I don't know, call me crazy, but I don't think you should have to drop a reasonable amount of money in a full price game, especially Call of Duty, to get cool skins. Now, the only praise I'll give MW2 is the fact that your stuff will transfer into MW3, apparently that's been confirmed, so the money you threw away won't be obsolete just yet, unlike Modern Warfare 2019, which is almost unplayable, at least on Xbox. But now that the Microsoft deal has gone through, this can go any way, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. Microsoft doesn't have a perfect record when it comes to making good games, but with the trend that Activision is showing, at least monetization-wise, things are only going to get worse. They aren't even trying to sell you a game. The real money comes from selling you a $25 Homelander skin that doesn't cost as much labor to make compared to the game. Activision doesn't care about quality or integrity. Not anymore. Thanks for watching. That's all I got.